Hey, teacups, welcome to another live episode of Tea with Teash podcast. Obviously, I'm Teash. And first of all, what's tea? It's Tea Tuesday, so we're going to get right on into it. So today we have the homie Brian B. Shynin of Hot 103 Jams. He's the co-host of Hustle and Shine every morning. And I know y'all be listening because I be listening. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling. And I'm happy to have him today. I know that we were trying to come up with a date and time, but we about to do this thing now. Let's go ahead and get this thing moving and shaking. And nope, I ain't wearing no glasses today. I'm cute. So, hey. What up, man?
What's good? What's good? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So what's going on? How you feeling about football season?
We feeling great. Home of the champions, city of champions. Everybody's looking okay for the start of the season. It's always a little rough, after preseason and stuff because sometimes you don't have enough time to get that cohesion. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the first couple weeks of the season, it could be a little off sometimes. But for the most part, they've looked pretty good. That was a little too close the other day, but
Right.
that was what I expected with them bum ass Bengals.
Right.
Because they Super Bowl. They don't get to play in big games that often in Cincinnati, and
Oh, okay.
they like to treat the Chiefs as if we're their Super Bowl, and they don't actually care about winning the actual like this Lombardi Trophy. They just care about beating the Chiefs. They do that. That's their championship, and they done for the season, which is
Right.
pretty pathetic to me. But in KC, we got bigger dreams and bigger goals. We're trying to win championships. You know what I'm saying?
Basically, I see a lot of people hating. They want to stop us, and then so I think the thing is, I don't know if they think it's rigged or what's really going on. But when we was losing, they was cool with it. But now that we own back
Yeah.
to back, they can't take it, right?
That's how it be. People don't be want to say nothing when you're not a threat, but when you a threat, yeah. That's some real life stuff too.
Yeah.
That's applicable in everything.
Yeah, I dig that 100%. Cannot disagree. So let's get into it. So you went from Village Green to an Emmy Award in 2021. What an accomplishment! Like straight up, coming from Kansas City, doing bigger and bigger things. That's really cool for real. So how did you feel about that coming from the hood to Hollywood? I'm gonna say it like that because that's what it is. So how did that feel for you to win such a major award?
Man, I didn't think that it could ever be possible, to be honest, because first off, I hated my voice growing up.
Hmm.
Um, I remember the first time I spoke on a microphone in front of a lot of people, which was at my church that I grew up in, 1414 Truman Road, St. Stephen's Baptist Church, and I remember hearing my voice for the first time, and I wanted to just leave.
Mm.
'Cause we had it was an Easter piece that we
Okay.
that we had to speak on, and we had to say our little Easter piece. I got on the mic in front of all them people in church, and I hated my voice. But thank you, Mr. Bob Kendrick, though, for the opportunity to narrate the 100 years of the Negro Leagues, because that's what we won the Emmy for. And my bro Kerry Classic, who produced it, who executive produced it. It was just a wonderful thing to be a part of, to celebrate something that's specific to Kansas City and Kansas City only. Not Kansas City only, but it's specific to our city. The Negro Leagues is Kansas City. We kept it alive for all of these years. We got the ambassador, Mr. Bob Kendrick, here in the flesh, and like that's one of the hidden gems in the town. And for me to be a part of that documentary and to have an award, it was mind blowing. It's proof that God will give you things that you didn't even think that was possible in your life.
I could agree with that. Like there's so much creativity here in Kansas City. It's so much togetherness for real. I feel like the culture is really thick here. And I don't think a lot of people know that. So I really try to highlight anything and everybody I see that's really moving massively. And I can honestly say you've done some really good things and it comes from your heart. So it's not just so that you can get some airtime. This is really how you live.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you recognizing that. Um, it's just if it's done from the heart, it's just gonna feel that much better. Anything done out of vain or anything that you do for somebody that you're expecting something out of, is you're never gonna get fulfilled from that ever
Yep.
in your life. You're never gonna experience fulfillment. It's always gonna be a revolving circle of you trying to, you know, take advantage of people or whatever. So that's just how I've always moved in life.
Yep. I agree with that too. So you've been affiliated with radio for quite a while now. So let's get into your journey into the live band situation that you're doing. So what promoted the change in that?
Well, you know, I feel like I remember one of the first times I DJ live with a band, and it's interesting that you dipping into this question. I like that. But the first time I DJ live with a band was probably 2014, I think, at Club Privilege.
Hmm.
It used to be off Main Street. It was like 20 something in Main back in 2014, 2015, and it was just an amazing sound just to hear uh some of your favorite hip hop songs accompanied with some drums. It just does wonders for it. And then you get the bass thumping in there, and I've always wanted to kind of dive into that, to do it long form, because whenever I did that in 2014 or 2015, it would only be for like 10 minutes at a time.
Hmm.
And now I just turned 39, and my age group and people who have listened to me and people who like what I like, my audience, we're getting a little older,
Yeah.
and I feel like we want something a little different than what we've been used to when we do go out. And so, look, R&B Shining, baby, it's the perfect blend of live bands and some of our favorite R&B records that we grew up with. And another thing about us millennials too, and I'm an older millennial, by the way, is that our R&B is a little different than our older brothers' R&B or our parents' R&B. Like, we would consider Rick Ross and T Pain Bag of Money. Like, that would be considered like a R&B song.
Right.
But like to an older generation, that's hip hop because it's specifically hip hop. But as long as it has an R&B flavor and R&B texture to it, that's kind of what we gauge towards. And to mix that in with with a live band and live singers, and you talk about you wanted to promote, kind of like the underspoken for Kansas City. I'm on that same thing, and so that's why I want to work with artists and bands of all kinds here in KC, so we can help network and put each other on and give people a dope ass experience uh, in a setting that they're not accustomed to.
Well, that's what's up. And real quick, before we go any further, I gotta say shout out to the gang because you a Leo, just like I'm a Leo,
You
and
know it.
I just turned 42 August 1st, so I love that you threw 39 in there. I'd like to go back a little bit, but not
Oh
really
yeah.
because I think I got my motion now.
You look, man. The older I get, the better I get. I don't care
Yeah,
what nobody say.
yeah,
I feel 10 years younger, and this is probably due to my poor health habits and poor eating habits that I had 10 years ago.
yeah.
But I feel great for 39. I don't
Good.
feel 39. I don't know what 39 looks like, but I definitely don't look like what I've been through, and that's
Yeah,
for sure. And that's a testament to only God
for
and spiritual
sure.
family.
Yep, I agree with that 100% because a lot of us have been going through things and it's really, really crazy that we don't look like it. And I'm very transparent. I think it's therapeutic for me to talk about, but for me to have lost my mother this month will be 8 months.
Uh,
I have the
that's
worst
sad.
days sometimes, but you won't be able to see it. So right now you getting this vibrance, but I'm gonna tell you when the camera shuts off, it's like
You know what?
so.
She will never leave you. Okay. I lost my father my first week into my internship at Howard 103 Jams. A lot of people don't know that. And
Yeah,
uh, everything that he ever, it was, first off, it was the biggest shock of my life. was the biggest wake up call I have ever experienced in my life. I was only 20 years old. I didn't know what the hell was going on in life, period. And for me to lose my guiding light, the person who I look up to being a man for everything, uh, it was the biggest shock I've ever got. I can't even explain it, man. It was just like you're asleep and a big ass bomb goes off.
Yeah.
That's how it was losing my father the first week that I'm interning at Hot 103 Jams. And I think that happened because my father now saw, he was like, all right, well, Brian is going to the next phase of his life or whatever. And God took him away, you know. Uh, but it was something that was necessary looking back.
Yeah.
Because of various reasons. But the biggest one is because damn it, I just had to grow up immediately. Even though
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been mature for my age as far as handling life situations or whatever. But I really had to like, all right, let's knuckle up now,
Yeah.
because you ain't got nobody else to depend on for real, for real. And so everything that he ever said though, every single piece of advice, every single thing in certain situations that I know I'm not supposed to be in, if you are in tune with your spirit and hopefully you have a relationship, it don't even have to be with God, but just a higher power or some spiritual form. If you're not in tune with your spirit, then you will miss every single message that your loved ones are trying to send to you. And
I agree with
sometimes
that.
and sometimes God be trying to tell you something and we don't listen or hear for the simple fact that we're just not in tune because we're so lost in what's going on in society.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we take a time out, pause, and listen to yourself and see what certain situations are going on around you. Because God doesn't is not going to speak to you in some human form. Like
Right.
somebody isn't going to come up and just be like, "Hey, you should need to do this, or that, and the third." It's going to happen in things that are happening in your life. What is going on around you? Follow those spiritual things, man, and that would be my biggest thing for people going through grief is just listen to your spirit, man, because they are always there. It's tough to deal with, but they're there with you. They're talking to you.
Straight up. I actually so I updated my audio today because I've been so focused on lives and then I have these events and things coming up. I just did an audio on Spotify which uploads to Apple and all of that. And it was basically like for those first timers like myself, even if you are seasoned at the simple fact of losing your parent, how do you or how do I maneuver through these first without my mother? um, it's really difficult. It's challenging because usually you get excited about the holidays and things like that. But now that Thanksgiving is closer, I'm like, I don't know. I guess I feel like glass. Like if you bump into me too hard, I'm a shatter. So, what insight would you give someone like me that's facing her first without her mother?
It's tough, bro. This is the toughest part because honestly, I'm still looking for help. To deal with this stuff with holidays because ever since my father passed away, and it started to happen a little bit before he passed away because that's when I started to like work on holidays.
Hmm.
I really just don't like holidays.
Yeah.
Um, is and it's not a jealousy thing when you see other people celebrating with their families. I'm happy with other people that they have their loved ones with them and they get to celebrate. But it's like,
Yeah.
damn, I ain't got that,
I'm there too.
and it sucks. It sucks bad because your spirit can talk to you, but the human body and us being here on earth misses the touch, the talk, the tone, the smell, the laughter, their cooking, their whatever it is. Um, you sorely miss that, and it's like, what am I to do on holidays? How am I supposed to think of my loved ones when I'm just so deep down in it because they're not here with me. I'm just in a dark place. Um,
Yeah.
and those are the constant thoughts that I have a lot of times during holidays. And to be honest with you, it's a little unhealthy. I'm trying to get out of it, but I would just work. I used to do a lot of the mixes on 103 when we had holiday mixes like on Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. I would be busy with just mixes. All right, I got to get these mixes in. I got to organize the mixes. I got to edit them. Blah 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 blah. And that would take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And that's what my focus would be on most of the part for the holidays. But when that holiday actually hit, and I'm not working or anything, it really be tough to deal with. Um, so I try to just think of all the positive things and all the positive memories that they left me. Um,
Yeah.
and if you have children or younger cousins or younger nieces and nephews or something, pass those things that they're not here to experience on to them. Try to pass those things on that you learn. And that could be a way of you extending your family branch, of you actually leaving the impact and legacy of your lost loved ones, that that they can still feel that they're here with them, even though they're not here physically, but they can know all the teachings, and they can know some of the things that your family loves to still have traditionally in your families.
Yeah. And I'm definitely taking in everything that you're saying. Because I know for Mother's Day this year, I was the biggest hater. And it wasn't that I was upset with anybody for still having their mother, but it was like, you ask people what they're doing, and obviously on Facebook everybody's talking about they're going to eat or whatever with their mother, what they got her, what, and then they'll show pictures, and I would just get off like, mm-mm. But I love the fact that a lot of people still have their parents, because it's nothing to take lightly. It's a beautiful thing. um so on to a much higher note. So how did entertainment begin for you? Was this more of a niche that you had, or was you in college like, you know what, I think I'm getting ready to do this, and then you started the whole radio thing and then public speaking and all that, or did you major in it?
Man, so it's a very long story, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Um, I had always had an interest in like media or TV or something,
Hmm.
because I was an avid TV watcher and radio listener growing up. Um, BET, MTV, you know, I wasn't really a big cartoon watcher, for real, for real. Like as a kid in the early '90s, late '80s, I was more into music videos. That's all I wanted to ever watch growing up. And of course, when not in front of the TV all the time, the only thing other thing else I have to fulfill my desire for music or whatever was the radio. We
Hmm.
didn't have no money to buy no albums or nothing like that.
Right.
I was a big radio listener, so it was a few albums that we bought. But one time when I was at Paseo High School, this was '99, 2000, my freshman year of high school, and me and my pop sat down, and he talked to me about, like, all right, man, like in 3 years you're gonna graduate, you need to figure out what you need to do. And I didn't know, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I thought I was gonna play football,
Hmm.
which is why I had to leave Brazil, because I wanted to go to Northeast to play football. But we knew that football wasn't a long term plan for me. So he asked me, he sat down, what do you want to be? What do you want to do when you get to college? Blah, 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 blah. I said, I want to be a lawyer.
Right.
Like, Brian, bro, there's a lot of reading, and you ain't finna do all that reading. And now, I try to make up something else. Like, I want to be a stockbroker. Like, Brian, think about what you want to do.
Like for real.
Like, you listen to the radio and watch TV all the time, dog. Why don't you think about a broadcasting career? Like, this is how the conversation went. And I sat there and I thought about it, because what I used to do, besides listen to the radio and watch music videos, I used to turn down NFL games and like try to broadcast them, try to mimic.
Really?
Hell yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
I still want to do play by play and color and NFL games. That's probably my ultimate dream goal, is to do that. Because I did it in college and it was fun. and that's just something that I've always loved and I've always wanted to do because I'm a big sports nut. But that's kind of how this little radio thing blossomed. From there, I got close to my counselor at Northeast. Her name was Mrs. Fisher. I ain't gonna never forget her because she's the one who influenced us to actually make a broadcasting club at Northeast, which
Mm-hmm.
turned into a class. It was an accredited class. We had a broadcasting class by the time I was a senior in Northeast. Um, Graduated from high school, stepped into college knowing immediately what I wanted to do, which was a big advantage. And I was on the radio in 2004, and I graduated in 2003. Um, and then, got my internship at 103 and '06. But my biggest issue was, and it still remains to this day, it's like I don't know if I want to do music or sports. It's my biggest issue.
Yeah.
And with Brian's World, with my new podcast, I'm trying to like combine the two a little bit in my own unique way.
I was just getting ready to hit on that, so I'm glad you did. So yeah, how long has it been going? Because I think it just launched here recently, right?
Yeah, just a couple weeks or whatever. Shout out to my fam at Foolish Club Media for giving me an opportunity to really use the platform to talk about Chiefs and music. But yeah, we episode 3 drops tomorrow, and of course, I'm clowning them weak ass Bengals, but it's more than it's more than just about football though. It's way more than that. Of course, like I have my little football takes or whatever, but like I interview people every week, and this week I got former Chief Dana Hughes on the pod this week, and we talking about old Chief stories. We talk about life and family and all that type of stuff. So
That's what's up. So teacups, make sure y'all tapping into that. Because like you
please
said, it's
do.
not just about sports, so you can get it all. So
I talk about uniform fashion. Like I got a segment on there called Fit Check. Where I talk about the uniforms because I'm just a nerd with this football shit, man. I really am.
okay. Well, hey, that's you. It's all good. So, is it your nephew or your godson? I think it's your nephew that played for Lee Summit North,
My
like my
nephew.
son do. They've
Yep.
been killing it already, but people already know that about Lee Summit North. They already know how we coming.
They should have went to state last year.
They
You know.
should have. And so yesterday, JV played, and my son was playing, and we lost by 1 point. But I was like, you know what? Of course, you had some people next to me that was rooting for. I forget what team it was, but I was like, we'll let y'all go ahead and have it because y'all already know how we coming on a normal basis. Let y'all have it. He
Right.
pissed me off so bad, though. I was like, I'm so glad I got my mace because I wanted to spray his ass, but I was like,
Yeah. I ain't gonna
don't do
sit
that.
by you by the family games. I'm going the opposite
I'm
way.
usually cool though, but he was just really hyped up. It was just like disgusting. But I was like, that man's son out there playing. Don't get mad at him. He excited, so
Yeah.
let him have it.
Yeah. My man. Look, my nephew, real quick. I just need to take a second to brag on him because that young man has been through a lot of adversity in his life. He's seen a lot, and to see where he is right now, because he's been out there dominating, and he was doing this in St. Louis for this year. So to move to a new school in another part of the state, he was here before in 2000, before 2019. That's when they moved to St. Louis. For him
Yeah,
to come back here and still dominate, the moon is there's no limit for him, and I'm
yeah.
extremely proud of that dude, man.
Well, I've been checking out like whenever you post them and things like that. I definitely check out and tap in because, like you said, moving to a new place that can sometimes it can hinder you, but it can also make you better. So he's still stepping in his stride. So I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So Cheryl Underwood was recently here. What was that experience like with y'all chopping it up with her real quick?
I love Cheryl Underwood. She's first off, I love like comedians and entertainment business. Comedians are probably the most real people, like out of rappers, singers, actors, whatever.
Yeah.
Comedians are always the most down to earth, coolest people out. And so Cheryl Underwood, I've known her probably about 10 years now. We first met at the Core DJ conference in Miami. We
Hmm.
talked about this on Hustle and Shine in the morning when I don't want to like. I'm never the type to brag on myself or nothing like that. But she was like trying to give me some play. I don't know if it was real or not. And this was when I wasn't married. This was 10 years ago.
You're not
Okay,
a Leo.
so
Like, get out of here. You're definitely, yeah. Go
I
ahead. Go
I,
ahead.
I did I don't be knowing. I don't I don't. So because it's Cheryl Underwood. Like, bro,
Right.
what? I watched this lady on Def Comedy Jam. Excuse me. So
Right.
I'm just Brian, and we was on a panel talking about radio and music and stuff or whatever in Miami. So that's when we first met, and of course she's been to Kansas City a couple times since then. She's always been great. She's always been. So the one thing about Cheryl Underwood that people, I think, underestimate is how smart and brilliant she really is. She is so articulate. Like that's a lot of the comedy stuff, the rah rah stuff you see from Cheryl Underwood is like that's kind of like just a part of her act. But
Yeah.
she is brilliant. She is. I love Cheryl Underwood.
Well, ain't nobody else got a chance to really meet her, but y'all over there at the radio station. So we want to be able to meet her and talk to her and stuff like that too. Cheryl,
Y'all,
Cheryl,
y'all got to get on
Cheryl.
her schedule.
We love you though, Cheryl, for real. Like your stand up is on point always. And like you said, she's really articulate and I could see it in her. So I would like to get a chance to have her on my show to talk a little tea with her. So, so you and Deanna, you guys did some school tours the beginning of the school year. Y'all went to a few schools in the area. So, how did it feel tapping into our future leaders? Like you guys were up close and personal, big up, and I'm letting them know this gonna be your year. How did that feel just to be um, out in the atmosphere with them?
We love it. That's one of the main reasons we do this. Because I don't know what it is about kids and youth, but I feel like they just know what's about to come,
Yeah,
and and I really feel sorry for adults or older people who frown upon kids or who look down on them because they have a perspective that we miss as
yeah,
being adults. When we're adults, we're so focused on trying to provide, trying to survive, trying to, be serious and make sure everything is right and tight at home. And rightfully so, we got to do that.
yeah,
But kids have the luxury, most kids do. Not a lot, not all kids, but a lot of kids have the luxury of being free and looking at the world from a different lens of no stress, looking at the world from, what does the future look like instead of us being grown and being afraid, kind of sort of the future. They're kind of embracing the future and trying to shape what this thing is going to look like in the next 15 or 20 years. So kids provide such a energizing, peaceful vibe that I crave because I feel like I'm youthful at the age of 39. I don't feel like a typical, I don't feel 39 at all, going back to what I stated earlier. But that just
hmm,
speaks to my youthfulness that I have that I hope I always keep. Now I know my limits. You know what I'm saying? As far as like I ain't finna get out here and start dancing and starting doing TikTok stuff,
absolutely not.
but my thing is I always want to encourage. I
Yeah,
always want to just try to lead them in a positive light and try to offer sustainable solutions instead of trying to give them raggedy ass advice that ain't gonna give them two nickels to rub together.
right.
So I always want to uplift our youth, and even with some of the things that's going on with some of this violence, some of these Mayor Lucas be getting on them about these side shows, but it's a lot of youth that just needs a lot of guidance, man. That they
That's
lost.
true.
They raising themselves. A
Yeah,
lot of these kids are raising themselves and trying to figure this shit out. And
yeah,
even adults, we still trying to figure this shit out. But imagine being a kid trying to be faced with grown ass man situations and grown ass man environments where you ain't supposed to be in. But due to the environment that you raised in and due to the circumstances, you ain't got no choice.
yeah.
And
Being a product of it.
some people don't be believing that shit. Some people
Yep.
believe in that, oh, we can just snap our fingers and we can just get these kids to school and provide a better way. No, it don't work like that. It's a total mindset that has to change. And that
Mm-hmm.
takes years and years and effort upon multiple and multiple and multiple people. It ain't just gonna happen with just one or two people in 1 or 2 years in a couple situations. I know that I done got real deep with that or whatever, but
But that was facts, though. That
I
was
love our
facts.
kids, man.
Yep. I like that you said that because, like you said, a lot of kids are raising themselves. You have these new age parents that want to be more of a friend to their kid. Like back in the day, 82 on up, we had our grandmothers, we had our mothers, we had aunties, we had a village. And now that's what's needed more than ever because it's a lot of people that, a lot of kids rather, that really don't know which direction to go. And they need the support, they need the love, and they need somebody to hold their hand.
I get
And
tired of
we still
people.
do.
I get tired of people always trying to wave their finger at kids, or people trying to always just their first solution is just to throw them in jail.
Yeah.
Like no, no, that's not the answer. They need guidance. They need love. They need direction. They need discipline.
Yep.
Like discipline is love. They
Yep.
need discipline.
For
Those are the
sure.
things they need first before. And this just goes to I had to deal with this in a real life situation to where there's a local school district and it's out in the suburbs where a loved one was at one of these school districts and because he's black and they don't some of the teachers are white and they're not used to his behavior, they're not used to his tone. They're not used to his excitement or whatever it is. Some of them teachers don't know how to deal with some of our children that come from our environment, and then
Mm-hmm.
label them. They label them. They put them in special ed or in some other stupid little program or something. They get them away from the other kids, and that does nothing but causes problems later on down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, look, man, these kids are so important. We have to make sure that they're raised in the right environment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got to make sure that they good because at the end of the day, they are our future, and they supposed to carry. They're going to be the ones that carry a lot of the weight. So we definitely want to make sure that they are mentally prepared and just have that right support with them because if you don't have it, as you can see, the statistics show, so just for us to not get too deep into it, but it's a real thing. So be there for the youth, for real. So last but not least, fun facts about Brian. What do people think that they know that they really don't know about you? Because we
Man,
know how you feel about Cincinnati, so we
my
already
second
know
home.
that.
My second home, because that's my wife. My wife
Yeah,
is from Cincinnati, so we have family there.
yeah,
All of her family is there, so that's my family.
yeah,
You know, them them and they chili. Oof.
right.
What are some fun facts? I don't. That's a good question. What can you get me started? Because I can go on if I get a spark. I can go on. So is
Well,
there?
I mean, as a Leo myself, we can kind of read each other,
I
but not
don't
really. But
drink.
really,
Is that an interesting fact?
what was that?
I don't drink
Is that a
alcohol.
fun fact? I guess that's a fun fact because some people might look at you and think that you turn up, but now
Sometimes
that you
I'll
say in
drink a
the
beer.
air,
Sometimes I'll drink a beer.
yeah,
Hard alcohol. I stopped drinking hard alcohol Memorial Day 2020. I couldn't do it no more. I said
yeah,
I gotta get this up.
it's tough on you. It's tough on you, especially if you're trying to chuck it. Nowadays, like I don't either no more. But I'm telling you, them morning afters be no
Yeah,
joke. It's
yeah,
like, why I do that?
yeah. I had to stop. Like, yeah, I had to stop.
Yeah.
What
Well,
are
I think a fun fact is that to me, you're comedic. I think prior
really?
to, yeah, I think that you can look more serious than you really are. But that little skit that you and Deanna did, oh my God, I think it was the one where,
I fail.
yes, that right there took me out. I said they ignorant. So to me, that meant that you do have a little fun. You let your little hair down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll make a fool of myself sometimes for the brand.
Yeah.
No, I will participate. Now there's a limit.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
limit. Like I ain't finna. I'm not. Look, this is not an offense to nobody's lifestyle or nothing like that. But Brian won't be wearing any dresses or makeup or nothing like that. Brian is
Oh
not finna
no.
do that. But love to look. If you do that, fine. Have fun with it. But Brian B. Shynin will not be doing that. That just ain't what I do.
Wow. Well,
You
don't
know.
nobody ask Brian to do that because he ain't gonna do
Ah,
it and it ain't funny to
yeah.
him.
Nah, I ain't finna do that.
Halloween,
I will
none of it.
participate in some things, but there, like I said, it's a limit. It's
Yeah.
a limit to what I will do. Uh,
Yep.
what are some fun things? I'm an avid Madden player. I don't know if that's a fun fact. Um, Probably not to your audience.
Right.
You know what? Um when I get like time and I got the right resources, I can cook.
Okay. Well, that's a fun
I can
fact.
cook.
What can you cook?
I mean,
Because
know,
it's getting ready to get cold. I
hood
might need a
hood
plate. I don't
stuff.
know.
Hood, all the good hood meals. I can do that. I can do those to perfection. Now, if you want some asparagus with some lemon glazed salmon or something, you can
Right.
go to Marcus Graham's house for that.
Right.
But
Okay.
but if you want a good, this finna sound so hood, but I don't care. If you want a
What?
good rotel dip, come holla at me. If you want some good fried chicken, if you want some good wings, like I'm a great super pause on this next comment, but I'm a great meat cooker. Pause,
Okay.
big pause. All
Okay.
right, like I can cook chicken real good. I can cook like steak. What any carnivore? If you a carnivore, you would probably love my cooking.
Okay. Well, noted. Get ready to write down some stuff and send you what I want because it's getting ready to get cold
Now I
outside.
might. Okay. So here I told you when I can get started, I can get going. I don't like salad dressing, so I would
So what you eat on your salad?
just plain lettuce or plain spinach. I can eat spinach or lettuce like chips.
Oh my God. I have to have an abundance of it. I can't
Mm.
take it. Why? Did something happen or you just ain't never had a taste for it? You ain't
I'm
never liked
extremely
it?
picky. I am extremely picky, and it's just
Wow.
I can't do it, man. I love ranch on chicken.
Yeah.
I and depending on where we at, I might sprinkle a little bit of ranch on my salad, just a little bit, but just you keep it to the side for me. Don't put no salad dressing on my salad.
That ain't no fun. So are you one of those people that don't really like mustard either?
I
You
love
really like
mustard.
sauce? Okay.
It's a lot of stuff I don't like though. Sour
Yeah.
cream, no. Like any big pause again coming. Anything like creamy and white, white like sour cream, like milk, uh, any of that. I don't like it. You can keep
Okay.
the mayonnaise. The biggest. That's my biggest no. Mayonnaise. Absolutely 1,100% no. That is the worst
It's
invention.
good on your
No,
sandwiches,
it's
your
not.
deli sandwiches.
That is disgusting.
Oh
Just give.
my God.
I can just for my sandwich, just give me some bread and some meat. Pause. And that's it. I don't need nothing else. Just bread
Every
and meat.
time you say meat or something about white and
Cause
creamy,
man, y'all not finna get me bad out here. That's why.
no, you don't have to emphasize, but that is funny because I catch it like you literally like, hey, cut it right there.
Nope.
We, mm-mm.
Nope. Look, man, nah, man, I'm good. I'm good on all of that, man.
All
But
right.
that's another fun fact. I am very, very, very picky.
So it's just a lot of stuff that you say no to right out the gate. Like
One
don't
hundred percent.
bring it. So are you big on seafood? Most people are. I'm not
Seafood is
though.
cool.
I don't deal with it.
Why?
I don't deal with it. It looks weird. I've never liked it, but I remember on the Discovery Channel some years ago, I had saw this crab having babies. I
Don't
was
like
like,
anything having babies.
that tore me up internally. So it just looks weird.
I
It
like
looks weird.
fried seafood,
Okay.
like natural sea. Like I don't. I always tell my wife, I like my food a little fake.
Yeah.
Like I don't. If you want it fresh from the ocean, I don't want that. it tastes like dirt. It's nasty. It's a game taste to it that I don't want no parts of. I need
Okay.
mine to go through a little processing first, all right,
Yeah.
to get that stuff up out of
That
that.
taste out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like my food a little fake,
Okay. All right. Okay. We got it. We
a
got it.
little fake, not
Right.
all fake.
Not completely, but just
Yeah,
a little bit. I
but
got you. I got you.
I don't want you shooting a deer or a cow right here.
And bringing it over
I
here.
don't want that. Nah. I need that thing I need it to be going through a cleaning process or something.
Right.
I need
Thoroughly.
something.
Thoroughly. And I
Yeah.
need to know who house is coming from. And actually, I want to know how y'all clean it, what y'all using, were you wearing gloves, and then when
Man.
you get ready to cook it, however you do, were you wearing gloves then? Because
Ooh,
that's important.
I got another pet peeve. See, I told you you spark it, it's gonna go. A
Okay.
pet peeve is I hate it when people say right after every statement.
Are you talking about me?
No,
Did I say
absolutely.
right or left?
No, you ain't did that. Believe me, you might have seen it on my face if you have. But people be like, well, the computer Dell, right? Like they'll say right after every single phrase that they had. Like, geez, Patrick Mahomes today is birthday, right? Like, bruh,
I know what
I,
you mean.
you understand that? Like, I cannot
Yeah.
stand that, man.
I hate that. Or I hate when people be like, does that make sense? That's when the fight is on. Like if it didn't make sense to me, I'll
With
let you
an
know.
ass.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
That sounds so stupid to me. I just after everything they say, does that make sense? It's like I'll let you know if it didn't make sense. But
right.
yeah, all right.
It's like it's low key insulting. You know?
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. Real idiotic. But hey, whatever. Well, I definitely want to thank you, B, for taking the time to talk to me and my teacups. You
No,
know,
thank you.
you a big inspiration here in Kansas City, and I'm definitely want to check out your
Man,
live
you
again
know what?
real soon.
It's a shock when people be saying it.
I mean, you are.
I don't mean to interrupt, but it's like, bro, like, man, I still feel like I just still feel like I'm just Brian. Like
Yeah,
I hope I never get to a point where I got my head so much in the clouds to where I lose touch with reality. I don't never want to be that.
I pray about
I,
that all the time.
I do, man. Like I just pride myself of being of the people, for the people,
Yeah,
always.
yeah.
And I cannot thank people enough. And I mean this from the absolute bottom of my heart, from the sides to the tops, everywhere. I sincerely appreciate everybody who's always tapped in to what I've done at that radio station or any event I've done. It means the world to me that you would take time out of your schedule, or you would take a couple dollars to support me in what I do. It's I it's amazing to see after what I've been through and how I grew up. So I'm always honored. I'm always astounded by any type of support I get, and it's always love, man. It really is.
Well, of course, being from Ninth Street myself, I always have to rep down north forever. But just, like you
You
said, we
look at you
warriors in
almost
our
from the
own right.
dime block, the dime block.
Hey. But straight up though, just going through life, taking losses, taking wins, um, that's just what makes me me. That's what makes you you. And at the end of the day, we just gonna keep this thing rocking and rolling. And we love the support, and we deserve it. I don't care. We deserve it. I deserve it. So I'm gonna be excited about me game.
Like Mama D, I deserve.
Shut up. She was wild with that though, but hey, she went out there and she did her thing, whether people liked it or not. She was for real about it. That's what I call be passionate about what you got going on, and they can either accept it or reject it. Because we definitely rejected it. I'm sorry,
I
but
really love my city, man. Kansas City
yeah,
forever, man. This place means so much to me. So I always want to uplift and show love. Kansas
yeah.
City.
Well, Casey on the set.
That's right.
Well, again, thank you so much for sliding through, making
Thank
my
you.
life basically hit harder than what it did. So you guys can tap in with B, Brian B. Shynin all over the place. He's everywhere. Tap in to Hustle and Shine every morning.
You
Cause
know
I
that.
do. And
Thank
if y'all need
you.
any insight, y'all can holler at us. Y'all know we give straight tea, no chase. Heavy sip, heavy stir. So you got anything else
Hey,
you want to holler at them about before we
um,
get up out of here?
love to my partner Deanna Hustle. I love her so much. She is so talented. Hustle and Shine in the morning is it's a superior radio show. We put a lot into it. We have fun. It sound good, and we represent the city all day, every day. So, man, me and Deanna, we doing our thing with Hustle and Shine in the morning. We
I
just hope
love
everybody
it.
tap in.
I love it. Y'all vibe really well, and a lot of times you can't catch that everywhere where y'all just feed off of each other, and y'all do it so eloquently. I love it. So,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
of course, of course.
And
Well,
thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it for real.
it's all good. Well, thank you for wanting to be a part of the team, and you might say pause after this, but you are officially a teacup
My
now.
teacup,
So,
I got
yeah,
my teacups. Oh,
yeah, you part of the gang now. So,
sugar and lemon for me, please.
okay, sure thing. um. Who said what does eloquent mean before I get up off of here? You can Google. I don't feel like getting into that. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you have to tune in later or if you were here already, like, share, twirl this thing in rotation, and follow both of us, or me anyway. And so, yeah, it's like that. Always keep enough room in your teacups for new tea. And we out of here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.